And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back here on this real Leel video that we're dropping here today. It's going to be pre-recorded, so you're going to hear it on Can You Dig Sports Radio on In the Huddle on Monday, and it's also going to be out on my YouTube channel. And man, we're going to talk about this fight today. I got a special guest on the show. Once again, my guy Dean.O is in the building. Yo, Dean.O, what's going on, bro? Anthony Joshua, Usyk won the fight. What are your thoughts, man? How's everything going?
How we doing, my bro? This was definitely a clinic we got to see by Usyk. AJ is upset in London, and oh my God, let's get into it. The fans are in for a treat on this show today because we're going to get into it. This was a big boxing match, one that we finally waited for all summer, that we finally got, and we're going to get right into it, man.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? Usyk dominated the cruiserweight division, had one of the more successful cruiserweight careers of all time, and then already he's making waves in the heavyweight division, defeating AJ with them 3 belts that he had, and now it's his belts, and now he ruined the plans. There was supposed to be a showdown with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, a 2-fight deal, and guess what? The Joker, right, dressed up in Joker uniform at the press conference, said, you know what? I'm going to ruin some plans today, and that's exactly what he did. Now the belt is his, and guess what? We got a new sheriff in town. I want to know your thoughts, what you thought about the fight, and did the judges get it right?
Oh my God, bro. I mean, first of all, this fight was just great for boxing. Just getting that off my chest right away. This is what we needed all summer. And we're supposed to have EJ versus Pacquiao. We're supposed to have Wilder and Fury. We're supposed to have Teofimo. But all these fights never came through for whatever reason. And we finally, as boxing fans, got what we deserve, a major fight in the heavyweight division. And getting right into the fight now, this was a boxing clinic by Usyk. Coming up from cruiserweight, his first fight coming up from cruiserweight, and now he's a heavyweight, and now he's the heavyweight champion with 3 belts to his name. He came to London and whooped AJ. Early rounds, I gave him to Usyk. I thought AJ had a couple good rounds. I'd say 4 through 6 I gave to AJ. But other than that, and maybe, no, 7 I gave to Usyk. From 7 on, it was all Usyk. Usyk dominated the fight. His left hand really determined to be the X factor. He used it well, used it to his advantage. He was able to close the gap on AJ with the size advantage. He was able to get in close, and AJ wasn't really moving his head, moving his body too much. He was sort of just covering up, going in the guard. Lack of body movement from AJ is what I saw. And other than that, this was a dominating win for Usyk. The judges got it completely right. I had it, I believe, 117, 111. And I don't know where we go from here. Dresses the Joker, just like you said, my guy. He messed up everything.
Everything.
Let's be real here. You think AJ's not going to invoke that rematch clause? He's going to invoke that rematch clause. He is. There's a lot of money behind AJ. I definitely, even if he's not ready with that eye injury that he suffered, he's going to fight. Yeah. You know, that's just how Eddie Hearn is. He's a businessman. He will get AJ out of there. He will get AJ in there, should I say. But I agree with boxing clinic, and Usyk came in there with them feints and them left jabs. I believe he caught AJ overhand left jab in the 4th round, and you saw, you know, AJ's Pillsbury dope boy, you know, tingling, and he started shaking just like Ruiz a little bit. But it was a good fight. He did, and yo, you cannot coach a boxing lesson, right? You can try to game plan for it, but when a guy is as tactical as Usyk is, it's hard to coach that. It's hard to prepare for that, right? And AJ, once again, bro, like, he did some good things. I thought he adjusted well. After the first 3 rounds, I thought he started feigning, and he started giving Usyk with them body shots and to keep him off a little bit. But Usyk kept coming. You know, he was a little man, and he kept coming to AJ, and he fought the fight to AJ. Very well.
If you're a bigger fighter, you can't allow, you know, a guy like that to come up, who's coming from cruiserweight, to come up and bring the fight to you. The only good thing I liked that I'll say that AJ showed was him getting off the stool first. You know, saying, all right, I'm here. I thought he could have capitalized off that alone, but Usyk was like, you know what? I'm going to take them extra couple of minutes now. Yeah, it looks good from the average eye that you're ready to go, but let me get these couple of minutes to breathe, because he looked tired at one point, and then I don't know where he found that last second energy, right? Because when you look at a fight, and you look at Usyk winning the fight, and you see him getting a little tired, we're like, uh-oh, does Usyk have another gear that he can hit at the end of this fight to narrow this gap and actually keep on this lead and build onto this lead and sneak that fight away. And he found that gear.
No, that he absolutely did. And now here's the thing. So now you have Usyk as 3-belt champion. You still, for at least another 2 weeks, we have Tyson Fury as the WBC champion. So if these two boys match up in the future, what is this fight going to look like? I personally, if you ask me, I don't think we see a knockout. I think it's going to be Fury trying to outsmart Usyk and Usyk trying to outsmart Fury, and it's just going to be a boxing clinic. I would have to lean for now. We'll have to see how he looks against Wilder. I would lean giving Fury the win. But I don't know, man. I mean, we'll have to see what happens in the rematch as well with Usyk and AJ. And it's just, man, we're just in for a big fall. You know, this is the first fight in the fall that just, it's going to be a domino effect. I really think. We got
bro. And I think that Fury better watch out for Wilder. He better watch out for Wilder, bro. I think this is going to be upset city. I think it's going to be upset city. And you know what? It's greater for boxing. Now, I know a lot of people want to see that AJ Fury collision course, but I think your division is better when you have 4, 5, 6 deep compared to just 2 stars colliding. And I know a lot of people ain't going to think that way, right? Because it's superstar heavy. The sports world is superstar heavy, and especially boxing, that a lot of people will say is dying now. It's superstar dependent. But I think when you have 4 or 5 deep, that, you know, back in the days, you know, guys beat each other up, cancel each other out. That's when boxing is good, when guys are canceling each other out. Because I think if AJ fight Usyk again, I can see AJ winning that fight with the proper adjustments like he did against Ruiz. But I could also see Usyk winning that fight again. Had Usyk had a little bit more power to his punches, AJ would have got out of there way earlier. You know, so that's the heavyweight division for you.
Those left hands, you know, Usyk had him stumbling in the early late rounds, around like 7-8. Hit him, he was stumbling. AJ's legs looked wobbling. At the very end, he almost put him away too. And it's just like, man, now like the heavyweight division, he goes 4 deep. You know, we got Fury, you got Usyk, you got Wilder, and AJ. In that order, that's how I'd rank them. And
don't forget about Ruiz. Don't forget about Ruiz. Yeah. That's a bad dude right there, bro. You know, he showed me a lot against Chris Arreola, battling back, because Arreola caught him with some timely shots. And Ruiz got back up, and he battled just like how he got back up against AJ. When AJ put him on the mat, he got back up and battled AJ. And AJ, I didn't even think he looked that good in the second fight against Ruiz. AJ ran away that second fight. Let's be real here. To get back his belt.
He was on his bike the whole time.
He was on his motorcycle. He was out.
He was getting the belts back so he could set up future big fights for him. And man, it's just the heavyweight division is going crazy right now, and we're in for a treat in about 2 weeks, man. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. Fury Wilder 3. Now, here's the thing with Wilder. I do agree. This could very well be upset city. Wilder's mindset is not the same as it was going into the rematch, because in the rematch it was sort of like, oh, you know, I should have won. I knocked him down. Fury didn't beat the count. But then Fury was coming in like, yeah, I'm gonna come and knock him out. Like, oh, you're gonna knock out Wilder? Like, yeah, I'll knock him. And he did it. And I don't think Wilder was expecting that. I think he was expecting Fury to try to outbox him again, stay on his bike. But now going into the third fight, you look at all Wilder's training clips. He's putting on more muscle. He looks better.
Yes, he does.
He's skills. He looks better. See all these training videos with Malik Scott. He's throwing left hooks that are nasty to the body. He's not just head hunting. Granted, training is different from a fight. But could this be altering Wilder's mindset? Or are we going to see that Wilder where it's going to be like, whoa, like, who is this Deontay Wilder? Or are we going to see sort of like a Ronda Rousey kind of thing where it's like, well, I'm not going to say nothing, and then he gets put down again? I don't know. What are your thoughts, my man?
I think that we're going to see a Wilder that's going to be improved, that's going to work on these fundamentals. Think about this, Dino, for a second. Before that second Ruiz fight, we know Anthony Joshua to kind of be one way, right? He was the guy with the powerful right hand like Wilder. He was a good finisher. He got Klitschko out of there, got back up, got Klitschko out of there, got Povetkin out of there. And when we saw the Ruiz fight, he adjusted in less than a month, less than a year. When he came and did that Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope moving around against Ruiz. That wasn't something he had up his arsenal. And I could see Wilder with more time adding some more tools to his repertoire and actually using it and applying it in a Fury fight, in the Fury trilogy.
Oh, I agree with you, man. It's been crazy to think. It's been already a year and a half since they fought. I mean, there's been a lot of time going on for the both of these guys, and it's like, I guess the questions still linger. What really happened back in June? What really happened? Was the COVID outbreak? Like, I'm not trying to discredit. Like, if you got sick, you got sick. Like, I'm not trying to say that, but it's sort of like, man, it just seems all just like it was Joseph Parker when you saw him at the UFC event after he tested positive, and it's sort of like, what's going on here? How come
he deleted his videos too on the gram? I know what I saw with my own 2 eyes. I went right on that boy gram. I saw them Snapchats. I went back on 2 hours later. They were gone. That was whole fishy to me. That was a lot of fishy things going on. A lot of conspiracies over there that I couldn't explain. But look, you gotta credit right now the heavyweight division. I think that we saw. Well, not I think. I know what I saw. We saw Usyk, dethrone AJ. I got a question for you, Dino. Is it AJ? Is he overrated, or is it the rest of these guys are underrated? Something is true.
Oh, my man. You know what I'm going to say to this one? AJ is overrated. This is the second time, man. I mean, the Ruiz thing, you put that up there as if that rivals Tyson and Buster Douglas, in my opinion. That Rousey is the biggest upset ever. And then the rematch, it's sort of like, okay, what are we going to see out of AJ? Just like we said, what do we really see out of him? He kind of just jab, went on his bike, get his belts back. It wasn't anything crazy out of him, Fighting against Pulev's levels down from the rest of the heavyweights. That was just going to be easy for Joshua. So now it's like, what have we really seen out of AJ that separates him from the pack? What separates him from Usyk? What separates him from Wilder? What separates him from Fury? That's why I rank him 4th. Because I personally believe that there's no specific skill set that separates AJ from the rest of them. So, and I don't think the rest of the guys are underrated. I would just say AJ is overrated because he has that marketability. He has the chiseled physique. He's got the management. He's got everyone hyping him up. These things combined put AJ being overrated as the rest of the guys, compared to the rest of the guys being underrated. Because I don't believe the rest of the guys are underrated. What do you think, my man?
I don't know. It's a toss-up because there were some people that was picking Usyk to win this fight. But I think the general conception was that AJ was going to win this fight by knockout. That's what I think. But when you think about it, it's not like AJ doesn't have that he's clearly overrated, right? Because he's still a top 4 fighter in the world. So it's overrated is like you're being called the best, but you're not even top 4 or top 5. I think these other guys are just that good to the fact where we underrate these guys, right? A lot of people said Usyk was too small. He wasn't gonna. AJ was gonna use his size against Usyk, and that was gonna get him out of there. Well, he just showed you if you're not landing that right hand and you're not keeping him off bay, then Usyk is gonna tear you apart. And AJ, I thought AJ could have did some things better that could have gave him more success in this fight, like by using his size, right? By being the one coming forward, in the fight and backing up Usyk and using that right hand, and I think, AJ power doesn't go away. AJ still got that power in that right hand that I think if he connects on it, that he could, he could win a fight. But I think what's overrated about AJ is his boxing skills. A lot of people like to come at Wilder for his boxing skills, right? Because, it is what it is. We saw his boxing skills. It's not up to par. That's obvious to the average eye. But I think when it comes to AJ, there's something that he's not doing right with his boxing technique that is allowing Ruiz to have success in that first fight. That was allowing Usyk to have success in this fight. That showed us that Povetkin had success against AJ before. AJ caught him, I believe, in the 7th round with a knockout. I thought Povetkin was winning that fight. So, I don't know. I think that you think about it. Povetkin beat Dillian White. Dillian White beat Povetkin. So I think that, yeah, it may be a tad overrated, AJ is, but I think these other guys in the division is good. And they're right there. And that's the heavyweight division. And that's how it's supposed to be. Guys canceling each other out like it's a multiple choice question. That's what I think it is.
I do see your point, my man. I do see your point. My issue is, you see, it's just the media that surrounds AJ when they call him the best in the world and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, obviously, yes, he is now top 4, but he's not that good. It's like his boxing skills, he's just not that good. And Tyson Fury, what he said about AJ, like, it sort of rings true. Bodybuilding isn't boxing. You need to have boxing skills to box. Doesn't matter what you look like. You can't just walk in there and box,
Hey, look at Ruiz. Look at Ruiz.
Yeah,
Look at
exactly. Before Ruiz cut all that weight, yeah, look at him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, listen, it's going to be crazy. I'm smelling it upset. I think Fury won that second fight rather convincingly, even though there was some, shots that I thought the referee could have, headshots and a lot of rough up, up. And if the ref's not calling it, we're gonna use it, until he call a foul, which he didn't. But I think there's something about Wilder, bro. I feel it. I feel Wilder's spirit. I feel it, bro. I can feel when somebody is really talking from the heart rather than just talking just to talk, right? And it took me a minute with Wilder because I thought Wilder was, my trainer, water spike, outfit, this and that, gloves, right? And even though the gloves, I'm not gonna lie, was fishy. That part of it was fishy.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. But now I see Wilder breathing a little bit, working on his game, posting up videos, building some mass, and now possibly ready to kick some ass. Who knows?
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, we're all going for our American man right here, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, we got to. He saved the division, bro. As much as we gotta, we criticize Wilder, he saved the heavyweight division with them knockouts.
He did, putting them one-punch knockouts, and like when he's knocking out, people like Brazil, and Brazil's flying all over the floor, and there's bodies ragged on. This dude is clean, bro. I mean, his boxing skills. We'll see. We'll see what his boxing skills are looking like. Historically, they haven't been the best. He's always been that, that one-trick pony. But that one trick that he has is so deadly. When he's down,
come down to discipline, though.
Because he comes back and he wins the fight, and it's like, we're all rooting for our American boy Wilder. I mean, we love Fury on the show too. Yeah, we love Fury. We love Wilder, but we got to go for Wilder here, and it's really going to be interesting. I literally cannot wait. Like, I'm so excited. After what we just saw today, I'm so excited for this fight.
And you're going to get it. You're going to get it because both fights was exciting, right? When Wilder knocked down Fury twice, that was exciting. To see Fury got back up like the Undertaker, that was exciting. I lost my breath. I think I didn't talk for 2 days after that. I was like, somebody say, yo, Lil, I couldn't talk. I lost my voice. And then the second fight, just seeing Wilder getting bullied like that and Fury having the upset, that was exciting. So I think in a trilogy, who knows? Do we get that same exciting fight, or do we get a more technical fight? What is Wilder going to look like? What is the new Wilder going to look like? Because we can agree that a new Wilder is a scary Wilder. Because you're talking about a guy that was winning fights with not up to par boxing skills. Now, have he get something to his arsenal, then we could be looking at possibly the best heavyweight in this division if he can apply that to Tyson Fury. I can't wait.
I agree with you, my man. If you can apply that to a guy as great as Tyson Fury is, then this shakes up everything. Everything that we've been talking about, if Wilder comes in and dominates, this shakes up everything. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like, this is just so exciting. We're in for a great month, and even we got October, we got Wilder and Fury, we got Teofimo Cambosos finally after they delayed it.
Come on, Thriller.
And then we got early next month Canelo and Caleb Plant. Look at all the chaos they already started causing. Like, man, this is going to be an exciting month of boxing, man.
I can't forget about Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford.
And Bud Crawford, that's right. This is going to be so good. I can't wait.
Let's hope that we make it to these fights. Yes. I'm still iffy with that. Even though that fight is 2 weeks away, Wilder and Fury, something is pulling me back. Like, Leel, don't get too hyped, bro. Find something to watch just in case that day comes and you're going to watch this and you have a backup plan, because something is iffy. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping. I don't want to put negative energy out there. I'm hoping we get to that fight and we all there that day watching Fury and Wilder coming out to the ring.
I agree, especially after all the delays and cancellations we've already had this year. It's like, how much more can we take? We deserve this last quarter of the year to just be filled with great fights. And as boxing fans all around we want to see it as well. Just let these fights happen, please. Like, the boxing gods, please let these fights happen, because we've been deprived, and this is what we need. So
some of nothing. I mean, we got to see you guys with a torn rotator cuff or a torn bicep beat Pacquiao. You know, no, that's not going to cut it. That's not going
No.
to cut it. But I know you got to go. I'm gonna let you go here. Can You Dig Sports Radio? Tap in. Real Leel TV. Tap in. And Dino, you enjoy the rest of your weekend, my brother.
You too, my brother. And for everyone out there that's listening, we will be back soon for Wilder Fury 3. And believe me, we cannot wait.
We cannot wait. Y'all enjoy it, y'all. Let's stay tuned. Let's get it.